Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Russo is our guest for the rest of the hour as we talk about Ron Paul, how they're trying to censor him, how they're trying to block him, the victories by the grace of God and your action that we've had. Joining us is Aaron Russo, who I really appreciate coming on the show with us. And we need to all pray for Aaron, as I do each day, because he really has been battling cancer for 4.5 years and is in a tough battle right now. Aaron, good to have you on, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here. And let me tell you something. Cancer's a cakewalk next to what we got to face with the government. Okay? I mean, hell with the cancer. What we have to face is the government.
I know, but I just want folks to know that you're a real trooper. How's your family doing?
My family's great. You know, they love me and I love them. I have a wonderful family. And
how's Saki the dog?
You remember Saki? Saki's the coolest little dog. Everything. Look, my family is great. I have a great family life. The problem we all face is the problem of this government going wild, going crazy, destroying our lives, and the future is really bleak. And I
want to hear what you have to say about the victory we had. Elaborate on that, because that's a big deal, how they tried to ban and bar Ron Paul. Lay out what we're facing here with Ron Paul.
Well, with Ron Paul, I think we have a hero in our corner that mostly everybody who has any sense will get behind. And so that's a big plus for us. We haven't had that. We've not had anybody in the debates before. And so having that is something that, for people who believe in the freedom movement, as you and I both do, is unique. And we can't lose that. And they saw the effect that it had in the debates the other night, because we won in those polls.
By the way, here's a look at the early results of our text message poll. In first place, Ron Paul. And
the fact of the matter happens to be whether they were accurate or not doesn't matter. What matters is they see that there's a groundswell for Ron Paul and that it can build, and that the light that Ron Paul shines on America is a light that's going to attract a lot of people. And so we have to make sure that he stays on the debates. And I think the other day we did a very good job of doing that. And at this point now, what Ron, I mean, you know, I said I spoke to Ron. And I think what Ron has to do right now is go after Rudy Giuliani.
The point that I think it was Congressman Paul made before, that we've never had an imminent attack. I don't know where he was on September 11.
That was no country. That was 19 thugs. It had nothing to do with a country.
And since September, I think it was kind of organized in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
I think the way the press played what happened in the last debate is they made it out to be as if Ron Paul gave Rudy Giuliani the election, and they handed him a gift.
It seems that by getting slapped by Rudy Giuliani, he's going to get a lot of ink. So Ron Paul, quite by the actions of Rudy Giuliani's attack, may be doing quite well. And as for
and that's the spin they chose to put on it. But if you understand the press and how things really work in this country, it's the other way around. Giuliani gave Ron Paul a gift. And if Ron Paul does what he has to do now, see, what Rudy Giuliani did is he put Ron Paul's name on the lips of people who never heard of Ron Paul before. He gave him tremendous awareness. I mean, they're even talking about him on The View, right? I heard it again yesterday. I heard it last week.
He's going to be back on Bill Maher this Friday night.
He's going to be back on Bill Maher. All that. So he's getting tremendous press out of it. What he's got to do now is in the next debates, he has to go after Rudy Giuliani. Because Rudy opened the door for Ron to go after him now. If Ron goes
I agree with you. I think he needs to go after Rudolph Giuliani even before the debate to grab those headlines again.
He's not going to get the headlines unless it's on the debates. You see, him going after Rudy Giuliani and putting out a press release or whatever they're not going to write about that. But if it's on the national debates that everybody in the world is watching.
Now, obviously, he's a smart guy. Dr. Paul's smart, but so are you politically. Did you give him that advice?
Yes. And the point is that by going after Rudy Giuliani in the next debates, the press, that's going to be the flashpoint that the press is going to write about the next day. In other words, except for my talking on the air now and giving them the strategy. But the fact is that when people walk away from that debate, if Ron attacks Rudy properly in a smart way, the press is going to be all about it. And so in other words, it's not just Rudy Giuliani attacking Ron Paul. Ron Paul can speak out of turn and attack Giuliani for things that Giuliani has done and bury Giuliani. And all of a sudden people say, well, not only is Ron Paul a smart guy, but he's got guts.
I think you should go after Giuliani on how he's profiteered off 9/11. I would come out and say, you helped cover up the toxic dust, and that's now been documented. You can give an example. And you have made over $50 million. You can get the numbers. It's actually more than that. Off of out pimping yourself as a hero on 9/11. Why have you profiteered from 9/11? My gosh, that'll explode like a supernova.
That's a decision Ron has to make, what he's comfortable talking about, But
I know he's not a nasty, mean person, but this is war. He needs to go directly for Giuliani's throat.
Exactly, and only Giuliani. He should go right, because the truth of the matter happens to be, there's no one there, and no one cares about McCain. Romney's getting some press, but the fact is, if you get rid of Giuliani and Ron does that, then Ron Paul will be on everybody's lips as a possible contender that'll actually be taken seriously for the first time.
And what Aaron's saying is the key. He's got to go for the juggler, and I've told him the same thing. But looking at this, it's just like Ross Perot. But he was nothing compared to Ron Paul. I mean, Ron Paul is literally founding father material. He is just a last hope at a presidential campaign level to save this and to really try to keep this from going into a bloody revolution, as Aaron said a few days ago here. And Ron Paul is gaining momentum, and they're scared to death. We're dealing with nitroglycerin here, my friends. Ron Paul is one step away from being able to actually be catapulted in. And he's one of the number one search terms on the internet for now over a week running, and he could end up being the Republican nominee. Let's jump ahead, Aaron.
There's no question, but I think an awful lot depends upon the next debate and what Ron does in the next debate. And it's my opinion they're going to try and bury him in the next debate and not give him much time.
Yeah, they're going to attack, they're going to swarm him with questions, but that backfires too. And don't think for a minute that just because the Republicans say they're not trying to ban him now, with the head of GOPAC and the head of Michigan and Michelle Malkin saying ban him, they can still try something as well.
Oh, I don't listen. You're dealing with the worst people on the face of the earth. We have a series of liars and cheats and thieves in government. We have to stand behind the guy. We have somebody standing up for us, and we have to stand behind him. I mean, the truth is, in my mind, and I'm pretty good at these things, it's now or never. We're facing it, folks. It's staring us right in the face. We're about to lose America if we haven't lost it yet. We're so close to the edge of this country changing from the most wonderful country in the world, the greatest government in the world.
And isn't it poignant? I mean, really spiritual. It's like the two opposing forces that at this critical time that the movement was big enough and the internet had gotten large enough and that Ron Paul was ready, and he said he didn't think it would be this big. He thought he would just be able to inject some debate into things that now he really does have a chance.
Yes, he does have a chance, because we know that the Republican Party, it's the strategy you and I talked about a while back, actually, when you and I talked on the phone. I said to you,
4 months ago,
somebody's got to go into the Republican Party and win the Republicans, because they have nobody. Nobody cares about McCain. Nobody really cares about Giuliani. They're all manufactured by the press. I mean, that's why I made the movie I made. It was never about making money. It was about getting the word out there. And thank God, look, Ron Paul is the whole second half of my movie. Look how that worked out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somehow things work in our favor. We have to be in spirit. Too many people, I find, talk about stuff. They want to say they want to be free, but people really, for the most part, aren't willing to do what's necessary. And I find it within my own organization. Everybody talks a great game, but to get out there and actually do the labor and do the work, people aren't willing to do it for the most part, and so we're going to end up getting what we deserve.
But they're willing to on this. We're seeing a lot of movement, a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement like I have never seen before. Now is the time to move. In closing, I want to thank you for being on today. And Aaron, thank your wife for coming on. I know that she's there trying to take care of you. Make sure you make it through this fight. We will be praying for you. I know you say you don't care about yourself, but we do need to pray for you. We need you there as a great asset in liberty and freedom.